Hey guys, welcome to another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. I am the Bass Negus, and we got some new treats in the house for you guys today. We got some new toys, you know what I'm saying? Got some new, definitely got some new ambient and modulations and stuff, and a whole bunch of new stuff coming in. But I definitely want to give a shout out to Meris. Meris sent me over the Mercury X, which is one of my absolute favorite pedals. This thing, I haven't even opened it yet, but I've been eyeing this thing forever. So let's go ahead and get started here. Let me get some things in order. Make sure you guys can hear me and all that good stuff. So, all right, let's get it popping. So what we got, let's go ahead and open the box, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the first time I actually opened the pedal on camera. So, shout out to Meris for that as well. But if you've been following me, you know I'm a huge fan of the Enzo X. I think the Enzo X is one of the best pedals I've ever played in my life. And I bought the Enzo X myself. But just, beautiful packaging. Let's see, let's get the box real quick. Beautiful, beautiful packaging. Nice little quick start manual in there. What else we got? Got the actual unit, very well protected. All right. So now, make sure y'all hit that like button for me too, you know what I'm saying? I greatly appreciate that. But, bam, here it is. Just a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous pedal. And we're going to switch over to the pedalboard view so you can get a view of it. As you can see, pedalboard is all in disarray right now. So, but yeah, same exact size as the Enzo X. Looks amazing. They look absolutely, that looks stunning together. So pretty much what my plan is, let me make sure you guys can hear me. Pretty much what my plan is to, let's not forget about the beautiful ToneX 1. This is the signature bass collection pedal right here. IK Multimedia were kind enough to send this over. And if you buy a ToneX or a ToneX 1 through the link in the description, it definitely will help the channel out. But these are amazing pedals. If you know me, I've been raving about ToneX, the ToneX 1 since it came out, and it definitely, I still have my original one. Well, it's in my bass bag. So this one's going on the pedalboard because I just like how it stands out on the pedalboard a little more. But I have my own preset packs, and all that stuff's on the Patreon if you want it for any of these pedals that you see, including the Enzo X. And there will be a Mercury X pack as well, so don't you worry, it's coming. But that's what she said. But yeah, what's going on, folks? Feel free to comment. Let me pull up my chat here so I don't lose all y'all talking. But yeah, so just these three pedals here are kind of like becoming my staples in my rigs. You know what I'm saying? Along with the Source Audio Atlas compressor. Shout out to them, Source Audio. This is an amazing, very versatile. Let's see, very versatile pedal. But I use it with a what do I got on here? I use an 1176 running at a 10-to-1 ratio at running parallel compression, meaning half wet, half dry. And then I run that into a LA2A limiter, which is like a tube, gives you like that tube saturation. So I only run that at a 1-to-1 ratio, and then I just bam, you know what I'm saying? So it doesn't compress at all. The 1176 is doing all the limiting, but the LA2A is giving the characteristic and the saturation and stuff. So always nice. But so bam, this is kind of the plan here. Oh, also just I got a POG 3 on the way as well. So that's gonna be something else to look forward to. So the electro harmonics, I'm actually selling my Hog 2, and I'm going with the POG 3. So that's another little upgrade. So I got to leave space for that. That's a pretty chunky unit. It's not too far off from the size of these Meris X units. So I think it's actually it's hard to beat the electro harmonics like Octavers. They are just some of the best on the market. So, and of course I like to use my T-Tone 3-way effects loop, you know what I'm saying, on there as well. So that's gotta have room for that. I plan on putting probably the Hog 3 right here. I mean the POG 3. I wish they would come out with a Hog 3. That would have been sweet. But the POG 3 seems to handle a lot of that stuff pretty well. So yeah, definitely hit that like button for me if you haven't already. Like I said, let me switch over. Make sure I keep up with all y'all. Bam. All right, so I think I'm also, where is it? Okay. I think we're going to go with the Electro Harmonics Blurst as well. Just because this particular analog filter, when I pair it with something else that you're going to see in a second, this I can have it trigger this filter, and it also has a great LFO in here, and it's just an overall great sounding filter. It doesn't have the hugest range of sounds, but it is like a really warm, beautiful sound to it. So I'm gonna try to keep this on there as well if I have space. Let's hop over to the mini board. I need this Empress compressor. I need this. So let's get that up out of there. We're gonna need Empress. This MXR bass synth is staying because this is like, even though I am keeping my Future Impact on there, that's next as well, which is my main bass synth pedal. I do like the way the MXR bass synth, I love it as like an octave pedal, and I get some really good synth sounds out of it too. It's not as versatile as the Future Impact, but it still is worth making the cut, and it tracks really well, so you can't really hate on that. Then next, the Future Impact is coming on it. Future Impact definitely got to make the board, and I'm still trying to figure out the layout, so I haven't really got to figure out how I'm gonna do this here. I know I want the Meris pedals in the back. Hard part is, man, I want the space, right? So I can't have this here. I can't have this Future Impact here. It's got to be somewhere on the front row because I need to be able to have the MIDI cables available to me. And it's in mono. I'm running, so everything's going to be mono from all the way up into the ToneX 1. And like I said, I still got to get a POG 3 on here. Let's see, where we at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pedals already. Yeah, I might have to forfeit the effects loop on this. Because that would actually give me the extra space that I need. The extra space that I need to. That's not ideal. But sacrifices must be made for space. And I am running all of this off of a what's this? A True Tone CS12 down bottom. And the one thing I love about the CS12s, you know, they got the new power supplies out, but that particular power supply, one, it uses the bigger plugs like a keyboard or amp uses. And it also has been very sturdy over the years, and it packs a lot of milliamps in there. So, and it automatically adjusts where the power needs to go to give each individual device what it needs. Versus, you know, yes, it does have dedicated plugs for a 9-volt, 500 milliamp hour, you know, power supply, but if that device is only saying in that category, say it's pulling 3, it'll take that other 2 if it's necessary somewhere else and distribute it somewhere else. So that's a really cool feature of the True Tone CS12 power supply. The newer ones do the same, you know. But let's see, this does open the pedal board up quite a bit more. Now, one of the reasons I'm going with the Mercury X, and I'm actually going to allow the Mercury X to be, and the Enzo X at times. Both of those are going to be, well, the Enzo X end up being my main delay unit, like external delay unit, as well as all the synths and pads and everything. And I'll be combining them at times because there's times where I want to make a patch in here and use the delay. And so the ambient spot is already taken in the Enzo X with the delay. So now I got the reverb, and I can do all that types of stuff. This pedal literally can do any type of reverb that you pretty much can think of, and it does it at the highest quality. So shout out to them. Meris, you know, is definitely taking over my pedal board, as you can see. So I can have those units. The thing I love about these 2 units as well, I can have them like right up against each other. I don't have to have any space in between them, and I can still do everything I need. So I'm thinking I might just move all this over like this. Just get all this over include. X. And I like to use this another little pedal board trick. Look, you know, ain't the cleanest thing, you know what I'm saying, looking when you unveil it, but it if you do it right, you can barely tell. But I put the Velcro on the back of the pedal, but I also will put some extra pieces of Velcro that are double-sided, one with the felt side and the other part with the stickier side. Put that like that, and now it raises up the bottom of the pedal like this. So when I'm on a pedal board, I can easily get to the pedal. Well, get to the pedal a little easier, rather. So say I put that like that. Now I got some extra space here. I'm trying to decide if I want to run, I probably want to run the blurst into the ToneX. So I can bring the ToneX over there. For real, the ToneX don't even use no space. Because I definitely need this like closer to there. Trying to think which order I want this to go in. Would I rather, and this is little stuff I gotta think about. Do I want the MXR to run into the Future Impact so I can use the Future Impacts filters? Or do I want the Future Impact to run into the MXR so I can use the MXR filters? This is a, a little conundrum. But, right now it doesn't matter. What's going on, folks? Appreciate you. Well, with the ToneX, you don't actually have to run 2 ToneX pedals. I'm gonna just sit this here. You don't actually have to run 2 ToneX ones. You can just run. Where is it? I've got one around here somewhere over the rainbow. Here we go. You can just run this, which is a TRS to TS to regular. This is pretty much regular instrument cable outputs. And this goes in to, the ToneX one is stereo. You can use it as a headphone amp and as a audio interface. So it's stereo out, just not stereo in. So if I want to, I can easily run this ToneX one right here and run like these 2 type of cables to stereo to the Enzo X. Now, I don't really see a purpose to that in this application at the moment because running 2 of them means that's one less pedal I can run that does something else. So that's, if I want to run a stereo, that's the way I would do it. So I always have that extra. The CS12, the way I use it, I'm only using 9 slots because it's got 3 other slots. The one's an AC power one and 2 18-volt ones. And I don't want to, I don't need those for these pedals. I only need 9-volt. So it's 9 of those. And these, I hope this POG 3, because that's what we moving on to. We getting the POG 3. We in there, you know what I'm saying? This is literally the ultimate pedal board you can have. It literally has everything, and it has the best synths, has best octavers. The MXR and the Future Impact just are fantastic bass synth pedals. Everybody wants to know which one is better, this and that, but both of them are worth having, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was a little sleep with the MXR pedal, but when you run that with the expression pedal and you morph in between presets, you get some amazing sounds out of there. So let's see what we got here. Yeah, HX Stomp is cool. HX Stomp's cool. Yeah, the ToneX definitely. If you haven't already, grab one. If you grab one through the link, you know what I'm saying, it definitely helps out the channel. But the ToneX and the ToneX One pedals are absolutely amazing. And I did think about running 2 of them, but like I said, that's just an extra thing. So, see, I can get it to look a lot cleaner like this. Have a little space in between here. It should give me enough room right here between the 2 rows to, run the cables down here, as well as, any expression pedals. I should be able to get that done here as well. Cool thing, if I run these 2 pedals side by side, I can actually have them, literally side by side like that. So that saves space. And just plug in here. All this will be all the wiring is gonna come down here. So bam, bam, bam. All these are true bypass pedals as well. Well, no, except for the Meris pedals. They aren't, when they're in stereo, they're buffered bypass, I believe. So, but doesn't affect my tone in a negative way, so I don't mind it. Trying to think, man. See what we got here. Yeah, I'll check it out, but I can guarantee you now. I can guarantee you now, the Mercury X is a whole new level. Is a whole new level to reverbs, people. I mean, the reason I have it, is because of the Prism. The Prism reverb in the Enzo X by itself wipes out the majority of reverbs that I've heard. Now, this has that plus 7 other algorithms, reverb algorithms that are just absolutely stunning. If you haven't, I'm going to be checking some stuff out. I'm just going to hook this up for today just because I kind of want to play a little bit. It's supposed to be taking some time off my hands. Yeah, I'm not even trying to. I ain't even trying to run. See, you say you also run two amps. Yeah, that definitely limited space pedal power. Yeah, HX Stomp not bad. I have a. Let me show you how many pedals the Mercury X is getting ready to replace. It's getting ready. Let me show you how many pedals it's taking off of my pedal board. So it's going. This is why, if you go to my reverb store, if you go to All Bass Creations on Reverb, all my pedals that I'm selling right now will be on there. So I'm selling a ton of pedals at the moment. But so it's taking the Zoom MS-60 Plus off of the board. The Plethora X1 is taking that off of the board. And it's not nothing personal against any company or anything. I love these pedals, but this is a much more precise setup, and I'll be able to do a lot more while having less pedals. You know what I'm saying? Meaning I won't, not that I can't use more pedals on there, because I can stuff another power supply under there. I just don't want to have to hook up two plugs for the pedal board. I want to be in and out, So bam. It's also taking, well, let me see, you might be able to see it better there. It's taking the HX1 up off of this. So far, the Mercury X is just, we can just stack them. Now, I know it's a big pedal, but look how many pedals it's replacing. What else we got on here? So it's replacing all 3 of these pedals slots on my pedal board currently. So that definitely says something, because I love these pedals. It's not like you hear me talk about the reverbs in the HX1 a lot. I love the reverbs in there. I love the delays. You hear me talk about the everything in here, the filters, the modulations, the delays, the reverbs are pretty good too. And the bit crusher on here is one of my favorite bit crushers, and the warp phaser is one of my favorite. But I can get the majority of those sounds. I can get all those sounds pretty much with the Mercury X, between the Mercury X and the Enzo X. Same thing with the Plethora X1. Y'all know I love the shimmer reverb on here. I love the tricores and the vibrato pedal out here as well. So, it's not that this isn't a good pedal. These are great pedals, all three of these, but when it comes to a pedal board in space, you gotta, pick your battles, you feel me? So, and pick which you really ultimately need. The X1 and the HX1 are only one slide at a time. While the just just with these two pedals, you're looking at about the same amount of space when you account for the plugs. You know what I'm saying? So not too bad. Yeah, the HX1 is not a bad pedal. My only gripe with these HX and HX Stomp is why can't we get a bass version? Like why we can't get a version that is geared towards bass and not have all this extra guitar stuff that don't really sound good on bass, and I'm stuck with buying it, and this was like $300 brand new. By the way, I got this listed on Reverb, local pickup only. I'm only doing local pickup, so if you're in the DMV area, definitely hit me up. If you're in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? All these will be on sale, and I'm going to leave them loaded up with my, well, I'm not going to say I'm leaving loaded up my preset, not the MS-70 CDR Plus, but the HX1, I have my settings already on here, and so with a plethora X1. Well, no, I actually have to, I can't even say that. That'd be a lie because I have to wipe these. So when you guys go to register them, or whoever buys them goes to register them with the companies, they aren't like, that's not your pedal. So, yeah, unfortunately, I was going to do that, but yeah. But there is a pack for the MS-70 CDR Plus. I'm also selling the MS-60B Plus. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to catch those in really good condition, you can tell my stuff stays in looking decent, you know what I'm saying? So definitely check that out. Along with my Electro Harmonix Hog 2 with the controller, the foot controller, the memory bank is going to be on there, and that's going to have that. I am going to leave with all my settings on there because I don't, need to wipe that. But if you want my Electro Harmonix Hog 2, you know what I'm saying, which is still an amazing pedal. Only thing that's wrong with that pedal is one slider's broken off, but the slider, if you take some tweezers, you can still change the slider up and down, but that's on there for like $275. So, the new Hog is like, the new Pog 3 is like $645. Like it's not cheap. But selling quite a few pedals. Even things, the MXR bass synth is replacing like the Poly Blue octave and the Boss OC5. So, both of these are coming off of here. Like I said, amazing sounding pedals. It's just I have both of them sound amazing. I gotta choose. You know what I'm saying? This is in the same configuration, but this can do more. But for the price that I got this up on there, it's a deal. It's a straight steal. Compared to this is like $289, but you can get that same sub octave feel out of the Poly Blue. Plus, you get 2 octaves. You get 4 octaves altogether. 2 types of modulations. You get fuzz, mono, and polyphonic. Mono and polyphonic as well, but with 3 octaves in poly mode, in mono mode, and then 2 octaves in poly mode. So all these are on the Reverb, folks. And we even have the MS-60B Plus is on the Reverb. Great pedal. Got selling off the MS-50G. This and the MS-60B Plus are being replaced by the ToneX One, so I don't need to keep these pedals. These are on the reverb, and the Spectracomp was replaced by the Empress compressor. So this is also on the reverb as well. So yeah, all of them in great condition. So I'm on the fence about if I'm keeping this deep freeze, not on the pedal board. It's not going on the pedal board, but I don't know. I love the way this deep freeze sounds, just like I love the way the MXR layers sound, but the POG 3 that'll be here tomorrow can do a lot of the same thing. Can do the same thing, but I don't think, only thing I think is different is the decay on the deep freeze. I don't think there's a decay option for the freeze on the POG 3 that's coming. So that's where this might end up just staying because I need that sound for certain things. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, y'all spending some money out here. Y'all getting all types of pedals, huh? Y'all putting that money up, yo. Y'all putting up some money. So, I understand, you gotta spend your money on something. Might as well be some awesome pedals. So I do gotta put some Velcro on this Mercury X. So, but yeah, so the ToneX pedal replaced all my distortions and any overdriven sound out or any and I thank y'all for subscribing as well. I appreciate y'all. And what's up to the usual suspects? What y'all doing? Hey, y'all in here. I appreciate y'all chiming in, hanging out with your boy. But let me see, we got a few subscribers here. Appreciate you, Josh. Appreciate you, Rev Up. So, y'all, and make sure you hit that like button for me if you haven't already. Let's go. Subscribe. Let's go. So, yeah. The hard part when you building these boards is you got to make sacrifices. I can't take a MS-50G and a MS-60B for the few sounds when I can do all of that with a ToneX One. And and in reality, I'm taking two pedals off that I don't need. If I need a distortion pedal, I can just use the ToneX One. It's not that big of a deal. Or I can use the Future Impact. The Future Impact also has a really nice tube overdrive in there. See what we got here, folks. Appreciate y'all. Y'all showing love today. Thank you. Hit them reactions, the like button for me. I definitely appreciate you, folks. So, yeah. So basically, this is what the plan kind of is. Most of my bass stuff is going to be Empress, ToneX, and Source Audio Atlas compressor. That's my basic, bass sounds. Like it's going to be just some light compression, whatever. On here I also have my preset pack. I got a lot of stuff coming out, folks. I'm gonna have a improvisation course and all these different things coming up. So, get on the Patreon if you're not already. But pretty much on this ToneX One, I have my dual presets, which is when me combining the JHS color box with different preamps, like color box running into the Ampeg SGT, color box running into the Gensler Magellan, so forth and so on. Oh, and just so you know, I'm also I'm also selling this Eden preamp as well. This is actually the very first pedal I ever bought, and it's still in amazing condition. Still fully functional. Nothing's broke. You know, and it ain't even beat up. For this to be the first pedal I ever bought and to be, you know, was my main preamp and everything I used exclusively for a while, you know, this great condition. So, but yeah, running the color box into different stuff and all that's on the ToneX, along with the actual some of the signature bass collection presets on here. So I can't encourage you to get these ToneX pedals enough right now. The signature bass ones, they're gonna come with what is that? 4 pieces of software. You know, everything you need for ToneX, but it's also gonna come with Amplitude and SVX1 and SVX2, which gives you all the Ampeg amps in the joint. Like, so, which is crazy. The Ampeg amps are insanely good on the Amplitude, and you get to, unlike with the ToneX, those are like really modeled really, you know, extensively, so they react exactly how the amps did. So that's definitely something worth checking out. All right, so yeah, back at it. You know, really on this one pedal board that I'm building here, I'm gonna have like 1, 2, 3, 4 octavers, 4 different types of octavers. Two, you know, each of the Meris pedals do octave, and I have the Future Impact and MXR bass synth. You know, so it's gonna make for a very versatile board and allow me to really dial in some crazy sounds. Should have got my scissors. I don't know why I'm using my wire cutters to do this, but it's what I got available without putting you guys on pause. But yeah, so I think one of the biggest things to keep in mind when you building your pedal board is this: it's always going to change. You know, you don't need it to stay exactly the same. You know, now I will say this: people are using. I'm seeing a whole lot of people not really know how to use the gear. It's one thing to have a lot of pedals because you're using them and you know how to use them and get directly to your sound, and it doesn't become a distraction. You know, like nobody minds when I kick on effects because one, I try to keep it appropriate to the song and everything else going on, but I also make sure when it comes on, it's like, whoa, what is that? You know what I'm saying? Because I've taken a lot of time to dial in the sounds, and I'm not just, oh, let me try to experiment on stage. You know, on stage is the worst time to be experimenting, like complete experimentation. Like you don't know the gear, you don't know what you're doing. Nah, don't kick it on at all. Just let it sit there on the sideline till you're ready, and then turn it on. You know. So bam, now we had those there looking all sexy. Oh, tell me that's not sexy. Just the way they look together. I'm trying to do something because I know this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem, so I have to move this over. And let's see my foot there, bow. Okay, so I might not even need this on the Enzo X. I might need this. It's like once this Velcro get down, this joint be down here. Good gracious. So we'll leave one here, like that. move that over since we got some space. And then we'll give this one a little boost. So that way it sits up a little more in the front and it's easier for me to get to. Because even though I'm not that tall, I'm only like 5'9", but I wear like a size 12. So it's like my foot, sometimes, I'm going to get some of them toppers as well, because it's hard sometimes trying to get in here with the weight, the width of my foot sometimes. But, yeah, we'll work it out. This don't need that much space. It need about that much space. So, bam. And then Pog 3, right? And just so I have something for size reference, this is probably bigger than the Pog 3. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping it is, at least. I really hope this can fit in this space. It should be slimmer. Like that. If it's like that width, if it's like this width right here, that'll be fine. But if it's not, I'll have to do some finagling in here and figure out what we're doing. Feel free to ask questions too, guys. You know what I'm saying? This is one of them days. I'm just kind of getting stuff done. All right, so let's just say for now we'll skip that and let's route some power. And like I said, the cool thing about the CS12, that run underneath there like that, is I don't have to be picky about which plug, or like I can literally just pick the plug and plug it in and I already know all of these are hooked to the correct ones because I always check it and then I double check it just to make sure. The last thing you want to do is plug it into that 18 volts. You know what I'm saying? Literally will destroy your pedal. So I think this would be better off coming down there. Letting this power drip back down into there. Need power. Okay. So this one I'm gonna run to the Atlas compressor. Since this is already coming through here. And I like these little pedal boards too. Where these joints at on Amazon? I got this joint off of Amazon. What's going on, bro? Yeah, for sure. Definitely come through, you know what I'm saying? We got new pedals coming through. We got a bunch of new sounds. We got that Mercury X in the building. Got that new ToneX in the building. You feel me? MXR bass synth. Going hard on them. Going hard in the paint right now. And, I mean, the thing I'm thinking about doing, too, is the source audio. Beautiful thing about this expression pedal here is this dual inputs. So I can run this and I can choose to like have the like the MXR and this on the same expression pedal. You know what I'm saying? As the blurst, then or I can I can have the Mercury and the Enzo X on the same expression pedal, which could get pretty crazy now that I think about it. Because if I'm controlling both of them and they're each able to control 6 parameters at a time, you talking about 12 parameters. Oh, that could get crazy between the two of them. And another factor is they're both MIDI, fully MIDI capable. So I can change parameters. I'm gonna have things mapped down here to my MIDI captain. So when I want to do different things, I'm gonna be bam, 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 just switching presets. I still haven't worked out what I'm gonna do with the ToneX in terms of the MIDI, because it does have a way of doing USB MIDI with the little controller, but I don't want to carry an extra controller. I just want to get that USB MIDI out of there somehow. Yeah, I would love to try the dark glass anagram myself. It's just, I can hit dark glass up, or you guys can hit dark glass up and suggest that they, have me review the pedal. But I can hit them up too and see what's up. Only reason I haven't, if I'm gonna hit a brand and it's just me, right now, you know what I'm saying, because I'm still growing. We getting there, but I want them to know that I'm not just hitting them up just for a pedal. I'm gonna sit in the corner. You feel me? So, I want them to know that, and just like I want you guys to trust me, and just like you said, you can trust me 100% on pedals. I want the brands to be able to trust me 100% with the products they're sending me as well, because they work very hard to produce it. It's very hard to have a company, you know what I'm saying? Any company. So, and I also like to show a little support as well, That's the other thing. So it's like you support me, I support you type of thing. I try not to just ask for stuff just because it's the new thing out, But if they want me to review it, I would absolutely love to review that for them. You know what I'm saying? And I would give an honest review. If they want a real honest review, hit me up. So bam, bam, bam. Well, we need some power still. So one thing that'll improve your slap bass sound. Well, first of all, when you're talking about playing slap bass, it's a few different factors. It's your actual technique, first off. Then it's the actual bass and strings that you're using. I use D'Addario Pro Stills. Have a very bright sound, cut through very good, very well rather. And and then from there, how you EQing your bass, on your bass if it has, or what pickups you're using, things like that. And then from there, it goes into how you EQ in your preamp. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times if you scoop a bit of those low mids out, it definitely will get you closer to the slap sound that you want. I never suggest going full scoop. Like, don't scoop too much, because then you don't have enough definition in your notes when you play. So, and then compression. So like I said, my basic bass sounds always have Empress compressor, ToneX, which is running a color box. Say, for this example, color box into an Aguilar AG preamp, and then into the Atlas compressor, which is running a 1176 and 11 LA2A compressor. So, yeah, that'll definitely sharpen up your tone. Getting the ToneX ToneX 1. You know what I'm saying? You can grab that through the link in the description. But this is actually, if you don't have any other pedals, I actually use this pedal. The reason I'm building this board like this is because I'm not taking this on every single gig. This will be on the majority of my bigger gigs and stuff, and little smaller rehearsals and stuff. I'm just taking my other ToneX 1. I have a black one like this that I actually bought. ToneX did send me this one. But, IK Multimedia did send me this one. But I already had the black one. and been using it and have done a million videos with that thing because I just love the way it's the best models. It's unlimited amp models. You're not gonna beat that for the price. So plus the amount of software and plugins it comes with. Come on now, that's a sweet deal for $199. All right. So what I'm also trying to avoid here, only other thing I might do or buy might be, well, I don't really have to do that. Let's see. Really, if I run MIDI into the Enzo X and the Mercury X, I can control from down here on the bottom. You can't see it, but there's a CME H2 MIDI Pro, which distributes MIDI throughout my pedal board for me. And I also have the MIDI captain right here. Now, what I might do, because there's no MIDI over here needed on this. This is like my other half of my studio board, but this don't really leave the house. This is what's going to primarily leave the house. And if it's not this, it's just going to be a ToneX one. Yeah, it is really expensive, you know. The anagram is not cheap. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest, nothing of quality is. Only reason I don't typically buy really expensive like multi-effects pedals is because new stuff comes out so much. Like new multi-effects pedals come out like draws almost. Like there's just so many of them. You change them every day, just like your draws. But you know, for something that's 500 and under, that doesn't bother me. For something that's 1,000 or plus, you know what I'm saying? Knowing that the way technology moves and, you know, it's like I could get one of these. I could get one of these Enzo X or these Mercury X, which is actually going to really, really give me something totally different versus just giving me a bunch of bread and butter stuff. You know, you get some exploratory stuff with multi-effects, but the multi-effects are meant to cover your everyday bass or guitar needs. You know what I'm saying? Something like this is a little bit more customizable for exploration more than anything, or even just it's so many sounds with just this right here. It's ridiculous. It's nothing. It's once I put the Pog 3 on here, which will be here tomorrow, there's nothing I won't be able to do with these 9 pedals. You know what I'm saying? And, well, once the other one gets here, it's 8 right now. But with these 9 pedals, they ain't gonna be nothing I ain't gonna be able to do. Like only on well, I'm not gonna say ain't nothing I ain't able to do because there's a reason why I'm still keep these Mel 9, Key 9, Rap Sitar, and V256. Like these are going nowhere. These don't even need upgrades. These just sound amazing. And I'm probably going to use these 3-way switches to patch this board in well, like somehow just like use this as a mixer. If I want this board first, I can run, you know, have it come in here, run it here, and then have it run that. Bam. Or vice versa. So there's a lot of those stuff. I'm not going to be able to get the Canvas Walrus, the little can. Where is it? You gotta get you one of these too. I'm not gonna be able to get this on the pedal board. Doesn't really fit. I don't know why the CS12 fits, but this doesn't fit. I forgot why I didn't put this underneath. Probably because I don't. Probably getting to the plug, the XLRs, probably gets difficult. But get you one of these line isolators. This is the stereo version. If you get you a ToneX, this definitely improves like this whole sound going to the board and going to wherever. Like when I I don't even use other DI boxes no more. I was never a DI box guy or limiter or line isolator guy, because that's what this mostly is. As a line, I use it as a line isolator. I didn't realize how much this improves. Like it allows your volume to increase, which allows you to use less gain or less like master volume, which ultimately results in less noise in your signal chain. Like I don't have to push the gain on any of these pedals that much because this allows that signal to get nice and clean and at the same volume to the mixer. You know what I'm saying? So that's something else that if you are really into pedals, it's definitely worth getting. I was on the fence about it for a while myself, so I definitely get it. Because it was like, $200-something for that. But it's worth it. All right. Let's see. Whatever power we need. We need power for. Let's see. What's this stuck on? Got to power this Enzo X. What is this stuck on? It's always a trip trying to finagle this stuff. Alright, so I'm running this ToneX. Let's move this over here. And this is another little hack. If you have one lying around, keyboard stand could really help you out with effects. And I say that because I keep my pedal boards up like this when I am at home and editing and doing videos and all that stuff, but it makes my life a lot easier when I'm actually experimenting. You know what I'm saying? Because I can reach everything this way. If I put it back down on the floor, yes, I'll have access to the foot switches more, but it becomes a hassle when I'm actually trying to get something done and get it done quickly with the editing side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8. This should do. Oh, that's the other thing I was going to show y'all. Let me put this in the chats real quick. This pedal board, I think this thing was like 60, but it's really well built, and it's not like, it's way better built than all the other little cheap ones I've seen on Amazon. And it has a better compartment, and it's the compartment where you hide the power supply and the wires is really, really good, especially for the price. So I'm gonna put that in the chat real quick. Let's see. Yeah, any company y'all want me to hit, you know what I'm saying, just let me know. And y'all can also, DM them or, suggest me, go to usually info@suchandsuch.com is usually their thing. So, I love doing reviews and stuff. Like I said, I'm trying to do this for a time. You know what I'm saying? Like, see, we'll be looking for a pedal board. See what we got here. There we go. What's this? The GOKKO. I might get up another one. Oh, this one. Okay, it is available. What size is this? This is the 22 by 12 and a half, about 12.6. Comes with a really nice bag too. The bag's nice. It's the bag. Bag is actually really solid, you know. Solid little bag. And comes with some really good Velcro. And it come in different colors. I like this orange one. Yeah, I put this in the chat for you guys. I am an Amazon affiliate as well, so if you want to order it through the link, definitely helps a brother out. Let's see. So, yeah, that's the pedal board I'm actually using right there, the actual pedal board. And just because we're right here, let's go and put the power supply up there as well. But y'all feel free to ask me questions. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, the X-Sonic Air Step is cool. It probably I would assume it works. Only reason I'm not getting one is because it's just I'm not trying to have an extra pedal on here, like just to change the ToneX one. I only use like pretty much 2 bass tones during the show, and then I also and really I only really need to use one, but you know I use generally I have 2 different tone models queued up, and then from there and a guitar one. So and then I'll have it in the switcher mode. So if you press the alt and the foot switch, it'll go into the 3 selector mode where you can change what the 3 slots are. And I just keep it there, and then I flip through them during gigs and stuff when I need to. But for me, that's the key is to make it as simplistic as possible. I would just love for them to see. I don't even know if they're still available. Yep, you guys are in luck. Here's another link. Bam. So yeah, it's just it's a challenge keeping your pedal board to what's reasonable and to a certain extent. The reason why the Mercury X and the Enzo X are kicking so many pedals off of my pedal board is simply because they have all that available in there. Like it has the Mercury X is gonna have just gonna say it, it's gonna have better reverbs than the X and then the X1 and the HX1. It just is. And I can hear it, even though I haven't even turned that pedal on. I can hear it in all the videos. Like it's levels to things, folks. You know what I'm saying? And the Mercury X, the Enzo X is the top. These are the top 2 things you could get in those categories, you know, of synth and reverb, and especially with the polyphony and everything else. You can use these as preamps. They got compressor on there. They got some beautiful modulations and they both have octavers on them. And they both have mono and polyphonic octavers too. So they make for very special units. And like I said, check out that I would highly recommend them. Highly recommend them. And it's a great, oh, let me move this over. Great team over there at Meris. You know, very highly experienced. Not only that, but they value the customers. I can tell you that they definitely value their customers, and they value the people that support them. They want to get you guys some of the best products. And then they just look good. Look at these things. They just look good. I like to stagger things sometimes. I know it look more symmetrical. You know, get it to look a little more symmetrical, I guess. Gotta keep in mind what the plug's gonna be in the back. But yeah, in terms of the air step, it definitely does some, probably, works out for you if you want to be able to access all 20 in the ToneX one. Appreciate you subscribing. Appreciate the sub, folks. Do you know anything about multi-unit programming pedals? Well, what do you mean multi-unit programming pedals? Are you saying like MIDI incapable pedals? Like I use the MIDI captain to change all the different presets and things like that. If that's what you mean, yes. It does take some time. Like I said, I use MIDI captain to a CME H2 MIDI Pro, and that's going to be changing, which is another reason why I won't need all those pedals, because I'll be able to change it through MIDI. The X1 didn't have MIDI. HX1, the HX Line 6 HX1 has MIDI, has full MIDI at that. And the MS-70 CDR Plus has PC messages, so you could change the presets through MIDI, but not change any of the parameters of the effects themselves. So that's one of the major differences. All right, bam. Okay. Everything's got power. Let's go. Oh, not the need another one. Let me see. I can take it off of this smaller board. Oh, this all zip tied down. Okay. Here we go. It's one of the benefits to having so many pedal things lying around. You can find the power supply. So we're gonna put this. Come on, man. Come on, man. I gotta unplug this one and plug in that one. Tell you what we do. We're just gonna move this one over. Like I said, this is one of the main benefits to having this power supply. I love. I don't even have to worry about it. I can just plug it in to the right voltage. And it does the rest. It does the rest. Where is this going? Oh, that's going to be for the POG 3 when it gets here. So that's POG 3. Got these hooked up nice and tight. And this little pedal board, for it to be $66, yeah. Hides all your wires very well. Bam. Reach all my MIDI stuff. So with this, I think the guy's name is Andreas. The guy over at Panda Audio, who's one of them genius level designers as well. Along with the Meris, crew. This is a unit that really shocked me a lot in its versatility and the way it just pretty much duplicates any vintage mono synth, like the ARP 2600 sounds, Stevie Wonder sounds, Moog sounds. It can do pretty much all of that stuff, all within self-contained by itself. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta love that. Now the MXR bass synth is not going to do that. I know that's kind of one of their selling points, but it's really not that. It's not compared to the Future Impact. Now what it is it's its own synth, in my opinion. It's its great own synth. I wouldn't try to get other synth sounds with it. I just use it as its own great synth on its own, if that makes sense. I'm not trying to duplicate. When I want to duplicate something, I'll pull out the Future Impact. So, but I say all that to say, he sent me over this cable for the Future Impact, which I think is a really awesome cable. Pretty much takes the MIDI from the MIDI out and allows me to control other synths with the Future Impact. Say I wanted to trigger the Future Impact and the Enzo X, right? Because you can play Enzo X with MIDI. All I have to do is run a MIDI out from here, run it into here, and I can trigger both MIDI devices at the same time. Or I can hook the Future Impact to the motif behind me and play my bass and play the motif sounds, So that makes it pretty interesting. See what we got here. Yeah, the Enzo X, get the Enzo X. Don't even think about it no more. Get it. And tell them the Bass Negus sent you. Like, before I ever contacted them, like I said, they sent me the Mercury X, for a review and because I asked them to. And they were kind enough to oblige, and help me out. And I wanted to review it so bad. The reason why I reached out is because the Enzo X, when I bought that Enzo X, oh my goodness. I spent, even now, if you follow my channel, almost every video I'm using that Enzo X because it's so inspirational. Like the sounds will make you play and play and play and play. Like I have to remind myself, like, yo, your finger's gonna need a break at some point. You know what I'm saying? Because the Enzo X is just, it's capable of such a wide variety of sounds that no other pedal can do. There is no other pedal that can do what the Enzo X can do by itself. Not even the Future Impact, not the MXR bass synth, not any bass synth you're going to name. First of all, it's its own synth. So you're going to get it's like you just bought a new keyboard. You know what I'm saying? Versus you getting a bunch of the same old sounds that you already heard and, a million people unused and this and that. Oh. So, it does take some time to, I also have a preset pack for that on Patreon. So you don't have to spend the time I did getting all those sounds, especially for bass. When you get my pack, it's optimized for bass. So, it's going to give you bass sounds, all the bass synth sounds, all the pads, all that stuff. I would consider them, the Future Impact and the Enzo X, two different things. I'm just going to say, at some point, get them both. I promise you will not be mad. Just get them both. Now, in terms of tracking, where the Enzo X like wins is poly mode. You know, for bass synth stuff, I like to use the V4 VIP. Now, I do have a lot of bass synths on here that I use on the Enzo X that sound just amazing, really. But this is like a new synth versus the Future Impact was like, it's like he was recreating something that could duplicate all the vintage synths. So it's like it's two different things. This is like a new keyboard that just came out, the Enzo X. This is like a reissue of the vintage keyboards. So it's two different things, you know what I'm saying? And there is a way that you can get those sounds to overlap. You know, there's a certain amount of area where you can get things very similar, but when you want those vintage bass synth sounds, you know what I'm saying? You're going the V4 VIP definitely is going to do you great. And it does both of them track well. All of these pedals, if you see it on my pedal board, that means it tracks well. Like, you know, none of these pedals are here because they suck. Nothing over here. You know, C4 Synth probably the only thing over here, but that has even somewhat questionable tracking. But this is mostly how you play it and how you approach it. The C4 Synth, but the Future Impact, MXR bass synth, the Enzo X all sound great in their own respects. Then they should all be treated like separate things. You don't see keyboard players like I could only get a motif, but I can't get a Chronos. You know what I'm saying? Like you can get it. It depends on your needs. Like what you know some. You know, you can play on both of the keyboard. Only thing I would say about the Future Impact where it has an advantage is it can be that when it does the tracking, it can output that tracking through the MIDI out, and you can play other stuff with it. You can't do that with the Enzo X, but you can play them both with keyboards or your bass or guitar. So that's two of the main biggest differences between the two. But this also has poly mode, and everything on here sounds so spectacular on the Enzo X. Like I said, the reverb that they included on here, the Prism, is from the Mercury X, and it made me want the Mercury X so bad. And like I said, the modulations on here are so good that they're replacing all of my modulation pedals, all of my delay pedals, all of my reverb pedals. It's what else could you want from a one unit? You know what I'm saying? It's nothing else I can ask for them for that. But the other thing about this little special cable that the Panda Audio sent me is I can trigger analog synths with the control voltage. So I can output this MIDI out and run it to this blurst, and it'll trigger the blurst filter like it triggers the internal filter, which is really an awesome feature. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, you should buy a 600. Yeah. What, you don't believe in yourself? You're not going to use it? Like you gotta understand, these pedals are an extension of whatever it is you're doing in your imagination. So really, once a pedal is well made, like even these Key 9, Mel 9, V256 vocoder, all these pedals, any pedal you see up here can sound like trash, right? It's really what you put into it and what you are willing to spend time learning. And luckily these days you don't really have to do that because you can go to my Patreon and get my preset packs, because there's already a preset pack for the Enzo X and the Future Impact. Those preset packs took me weeks to hammer out and just dial in. All you got to do is download it and throw it on a pedal and you up and running. And if nothing else, it'll give you a good give you all the starting points that you would need to get towards different sounds. You know what I'm saying? So definitely check out my preset packs. Don't sleep. C4 Synth got one too. You know what I'm saying? All them Zoom pedals and multi-stomps. Zoom B6. All of them, and check out my ToneX preset packs as well. Mm. But yeah, so I gotta run this cable in here somehow so I can trigger this. But all right, so you don't worry about that for now. It's power for that. Here's gonna be the tricky part. How I'm gonna wire this joint up. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. I appreciate all you all that have been subscribing lately. And if you're new, you know, welcome. And if you ain't new, what's going on, usual suspects? You know, we in the house. Bet. All right, so I like to try to do my longer runs first. Like I have to get from the blurst over to the ToneX. That ain't gonna work. Where's that long? I just took the long. Here it is. It's already ran over there. Well, we can let's do. We're gonna come out of here. We're gonna come out of there off the side, feel, and bam. I like to have my plugs on the side. Try to be flush with the thing a little bit. Something like that, just because I don't know if you got, well, you can't see it from the angle probably, but I don't like this jack hanging off of the board. So when I put it in the bag, it doesn't keep getting snagged. You know, that'll cause you problems. Actually, I'm not even gonna run it through that outside part. I'm gonna run it through this little inside part, just to protect the connection. There, and that comes out over here. I need wire cables. Got 3 of these snipped together over here. Take that off. That'll work for this. Those two. I want this to come out the back like that. Not really. I mean, I got the space to like this. I'm not gonna be able to get that back through. Oh, bam. So now, blurst and the ToneX are connected. Might change the positioning of that, but it's all no problem, man. Thank you for hanging out with me. Appreciate you. All right. Oh, this is another little tip for the ToneX pedals. I like to keep. Oh, hope I ain't just messing. Let me see. Make sure. I like to keep that little this little thing on here, right? Let me see and get y'all back straight. I like to keep this little band on here. It's like a little stretchy little band. And I just put it over the volume on the ToneX. Because like I said, you know, I don't have the biggest feet in the world, but I wear a size 12, and I don't want to accidentally kick this volume there, and then the volume just jumps up out of nowhere, you know? I hate that. So, and I've done that before, so I don't want to have that be a problem. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you for supporting and buying the Enzo X pack. Appreciate you. That means the world to me. And shout out to all the Patreon folks. Thank y'all. Y'all don't understand. Y'all really help make the channel worth it. You know what I'm saying? The support. And, you know, buying the preset packs or just supporting for $1, $5 every month. You know, like I said, the majority of these pedals, you know, I've only received 2 pedals. So all these other pedal reviews and stuff you see me do have all come out of my pocket. So, you know, I definitely appreciate y'all supporting and showing love, and buying the preset packs and all that good stuff. So, and just being a general subscriber. Thank all of you. So, but yeah, I like to keep this on there for that reason. When I'm at home, it's not a big deal, but I do like to keep that on there, and it keeps it from changing the volume and stuff. All right. I can do a flat jack right there. Where is it? So ToneX. Going ToneX to I don't like that. That ain't sitting right. I think what I'm gonna have to do is take this plate off the bottom. Let me see. Give it one more try. I want this to calm down to there. Just make more sense. Yeah, gotta take this bottom plate off real quick. Which is, it's just secured with 3 different screws down bottom. Like I don't have to bother Velcroing and zip tying everything in the world together because it's already a place for all the cables and stuff to go. And these are you know, you can unscrew these with your hands. So it's not like getting under there isn't inaccessible or anything, you know. It's as accessible as it gets. All right. So yeah. So plate just comes off down the bottom. I don't want this running like this. What is this? Which one is this? This? It is. So this is the bottom plate. Comes off. These the little screws. There's 3 of them. And pretty much sits on there like this, and your power supply faces this way, and you can either run cables out or you can run cables through everywhere. So this little part opens up around here, so you can literally run all your cables without ever coming out of here at all. So that's a good design. I'm sorry, I'm talking like the mic was. I hope you heard me. Pedalboard. And that's a street pedalboard fed up too. I know I'm not always answering y'all stuff in order. But I'm gonna sit these right here. And I need to take, so what I'm gonna do is I wanna run these cables down underneath, and then they'll come out this slot right here. So power supply is Velcro down. Oh, this was. Yeah, I'm just gonna run this back out this way, even though it will look cool. Just let me see. Just have it loop down like that. It's challenging. All right. So I want this. Come up under here, in there, sit like that. But I need this to do. Oh. If I need to, hopefully I don't have to have these flush. I don't know why I always do that. Gotta check it again. Now the ToneX sits a little better. There we go. Now that's nice and flush. So bam, bam. Let's get that nail down. Go there to there. Perfect. That works. Yeah, that's fine. Take these two. Sorry, I keep moving this mic, hitting the mic. I'm sorry about that, guys. There's some changing levels here. Gotta scoot these back. Damn it. Mm. So I just gotta line up this back part. I don't want them accidentally coming loose as I'm moving stuff. Or so these have to be back far enough. Bam, beautiful. I mean, these are just some of the best looking pedals too. They not only sound amazing, they look amazing, especially when you put them side by side. They just look like they supposed to be dominating. It's perfect. I really don't. I don't know how I'm gonna work out this space here, cause I can tell you now, this probably isn't gonna be enough space for the Pog 3. Let me see something. Let me see where the joint at anyway. Shoot, might have came early. And like I said, don't forget you can go to my reverb page. Go to my reverb page, All Bass Creations, and you can find all of my used pedals. HX1, Plethora X1, the MS-70 CDR Plus, MS-60B Plus. What else we got going out the door? Source Audio Spectrum Filter, original Zoom MS-50G, MXR Poly Blue Octave, a Boss OC5, TC Electronic Spectra Comp, and a Eden WTDI. So that's what we got so far, you know what I'm saying? But you can check all that stuff out on the Reverb Nation. I mean, not Reverb, Reverb.com. If you go to Reverb.com and go to the All Bass Creations, or search All Bass Creations, it'll come up with all of my pedals that I'm selling. So, man, where is this thing? And no, I'm not shipping. I'm only doing, if you live in Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area, hit me up, man. I got you. Yeah, so, yeah, that'll be here tomorrow. Still, let me see, what's the dimensions on the joint? Oh, so it's actually longer this way than it is wide. It's only 7. Let's see. Yeah, that might actually that should fit. That should drop right in actually. Yep, and all the outputs are on the back, so I can literally have this and this pretty flush up against it. Yeah, that'll be cool. We'll be fine. It's only like 5.7 inches, 5.75 inches wide, 7 inches long that way. Beautiful. Locked and loaded. Need one to go from here to here. Little angles like this be kind of tricky. Let me see. This might work. Just to go down like that. Yeah, that'll work. So, bam, 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 bam. Put a cable here just for now. Plug that for now. Close it, ding, 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 and then just run this to that. No, actually, I need. Yeah, run this through. Here we go. This ain't long. See if this one works. Beautiful. Slip right under there. Yeah. Wow. That's nice. I might actually want yeah, that should be fine. Yeah. That should be fine. And I guess I can just use this one. This will work. And it's this little pedal board's got a nice like the layout of the slots they cut in are like really nice, you know. So bam. It's not too bad at all. So basically Empress, it's a Future Impact, MXR bass synth to Electro Harmonics Blurs, ToneX 1, the Enzo X, Mercury X to the Source Audio Atlas compressor. So super versatile, you know, and of course here be, like I said, Electro Harmonics POG 3. So, you know, we'll have some stuff coming for you guys. It's just gonna be all new stuff for the channel. Pretty much, you know, all new pedals. Well, not all new, but a lot of new pedals. You know what I'm saying? A lot of new sounds. You already know the drill. And hit that like button if you haven't already, because I definitely appreciate y'all chilling out with me, hanging with me, and as usual. But yeah, so this is pretty much, there isn't really anything I can't do with this board. Like, I don't need to buy a bunch of modulation pedals and all that other stuff. The Enzo X and the Mercury X are going to cover all my modulations, delays, reverb. What else? I mean, to be honest, because I don't use like too many different types of reverbs, but the stereo reverb in the Enzo X is just insane, and just like the Prism in the Enzo X is insane, the reverb Prism, but all that's also in the Mercury X. You know what I'm saying? The Mercury X is, and these Enzo X, these X series pedals are like their own instruments from what I've, you know, experienced with them, with the Enzo X. But even listening to, like I said, I haven't even turned the Mercury X on yet. I just got it today in the mail. Literally unboxed it on camera. You know, but and they work really well. Plus they got overdrive and distortion, bit crusher, ring modulation, just all types of extremely high quality versions of these. So I don't need 50 choruses and 50 50 different pedals that all really just doing different versions of the same effect. And it does sound different from different companies, but I love all these ones, especially like when you get into the flanger. The flanger is crazy on there. Flanger, of course the chorus sounds really good and nice and full, as well as the ability to shift parameters the way you can with the modifiers and expression pedals. The flexibility of these pedals are unmatched by anybody. And then you got the app. If you don't want to, you can fully edit on here. You know what I'm saying? And you still get an app, and you still get a screen compared to something like the MXR. You just got your knobs, and you got to memorize all these parameters and stuff on the secondary functions. And with the Future Impact, you have to have the software, which means you have to have a MIDI interface and all that other stuff to do everything that the pedal can do. These X series pedals, you can do everything on the pedal and still edit fully in the app on Mac or Windows. So that puts them, a step above. It's a reason why. Okay, this is what, 350, the Future Impact. MXR bass synth's like 285. The Enzo X is like 600, but all the extra stuff you get with the Enzo X is why you're paying for that. So yeah, the Mercury X, they have the compressor on there too. That's what I said. They got some crazy, and they got freeze. They got a freeze function on here. So if you wanted to be able to freeze sounds and freeze your reverb, do all that stuff, you can do that on the Mercury X. You know what I'm saying? It's not out the realm of possibility. You can also freeze your notes on the MXR bass synth as well if you wanted to. Like, you just need to change the parameter for the foot switch from the presets to freeze. You could do it with the Future Impact as well, but you would need, you just got to do it through the MIDI setup. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a MIDI captain, you can route it to do it. So yeah, even the Source Audio Atlas compressor has MIDI too. So you're looking at MIDI, MIDI, and the POG 3 also has full MIDI. So only things on here that's not gonna have MIDI is like this blurs, bass synth, this always on Empress compressor. I don't even change these settings too much. So ToneX 1 is gonna allow me to. I only need 3 of those settings at a time. So yeah, you get some really cool stuff. Yeah, you can freeze. I'm trying to remember. Let me see. I can tell you right now. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head how I switched it. Oh, I know you gotta hold the foot switch and turn one of the knobs. I can't remember which one though. To freeze the MXR bass synth. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? I'm just pulled up the manual real quick. Okay. So you hold the foot switch down and you rotate the resonance knob to the max position. And to take it out of that, you do the opposite. So you basically just hold the foot switch down like this and you turn this all the way to the right and bam, it'll be in the freeze mode for the MXR bass synth. I'm definitely a manual guy. Like if you haven't noticed, I don't mind reading the manual, and I've already read the manual for the Mercury X, and I just got it today. But I figured, it can't be too much different than the Enzo X, so but I've already gone through the menu on there, so to find out some little extra goodies I could give y'all. I like to give y'all exclusive. If you notice, I always give you little stuff that other people might have overlooked about the pedal or not even really explain. That's because I go into the menu, into the manual. I keep saying menu. I go into the manuals and I look through them. Like I really read through the manual. Like I don't really read books like that. I read manuals. Like that's what I like to do. Learn how to do something. If I'm gonna be reading, reading ain't my favorite thing in the world to do like that. I ain't even gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? I do read now. I ain't stupid, but I like to read manual. I think I get that from my dad. Like just wanting to read. If I'm gonna read something, it's gonna be on how to do something else. I don't do story time too much. No problem. No problem at all. So, yeah, so this all I'm going to do with this pedal board for now. Except for put this back on here. But as you can see, all the wires and stuff are pretty much hidden already. So, makes it easy. Where is this going to? Oh, this got to come out of here. Voila. Slide it in the little slots right there. Make sure none of the cables is sandwiched up under there. There we go. suggest you put the middle one on first. Makes your life easier. Just double checking nothing pinched or anything like that. You gotta make sure nothing pinched. Alright, so just straightening up these wires down here. Just basically I'm just pushing them up into the cavity. I'm not even like Velcro or zip tying nothing down. I don't really need to. That's what I'm talking about. Just tuck all your wires up in here. That's a temporary wire anyway. Yeah, but the thing I really like is when I'm not having to zip tie everything down. If anything happens while I'm performing or doing anything else, I can, if I need to in between on break or something, I can easily get to all my wires. I don't have everything super boggled down. And yes, it is a little bit of a nest down here underneath, but it's not visible from the bottom or the top, so it really doesn't make a difference. Plus, like I said, you know, it's never permanent. I mean, this is the only, it's about as close to a permanent board as I can get, because I really can't think of anything else that I would really like be trying. Any other sounds I can't get with this, you know what I'm saying? So no problem. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate you. Always appreciate y'all hanging out. Feel free. Come back anytime. Thanks for watching. But yeah, shout out to Meris for making some of the best pedals on God's green earth. I mean, wow. I mean, the quality, the sound, the everything, to be honest, is just, their pedals are so good. Some people get overwhelmed because it's so many options, you know, but if you really take the time to learn what you're doing and just understand the pedals as they are, you'll be thoroughly surprised. Like, nobody want to spend $600 on something that ain't worth $600. But I'm telling you now, those X Series pedals are worth that $600. Trust me. I was right there with you. You know, I usually, for this channel, I tell people all the time, I usually only buy pedals over $500. And it's not even just for the channel. I typically don't buy pedals over $500 because I just don't see the need to. I got to still make the music, right? You know, at the end of the day, I got to make the music, not the pedal. But with the Enzo X and the Mercury X, it kind of does make some of the music for you. It kind of makes some of the music for you. It definitely inspires a lot of a lot of musical ideas that you would never have without that pedal. I can promise you that. You will write way more songs with an Enzo X and a Mercury X than you will with any other pedal that you will pick up. And it's I don't know, it's just they inspire such musicality. Let me see. Yeah. I gotta wash my hands and stuff before I can play, but so basically this is everything, and then all this source solid compressor is gonna be the end of the chain. So flows this way, comes over to the ToneX one, go repeat the process, comes out to here to the canvas stereo line isolator, then goes stereo out to the mixer, and that's pretty much what we doing. Yeah, I'm not, I used to do all that Velcroing down and stuff, and all it does is keep you, to be honest, unless you go on somewhere in particular, like on a tour or something, and you for sure are not going to change anything for a long time, then yes. But if you just on your everyday grind and gigs and stuff, where you at home and, things change. So with this, I like the fact that even though I don't want to, I'm not doing all the zip tying and stuff, I'm still getting the luxury of having the wires hidden, having them under here. There's no wires hanging under here. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just a simple plug. Simply, this is all I gotta do when I get to the gig. Plug in this, take this. We gotta move it to get what I got memorized. Oh, no phone. Yeah. Had to memorize where it is again. But now it's pretty much right here. So I can remember that. But yeah, plug in that, plug in my bass. Hopefully I find a way to mount this line isolator. Well, I really don't want to mount it, to be honest, because when I'm doing my rehearsals and stuff, and we're using in-ears, I take this along with my original ToneX one that I have, and I put that. That's all I carry for little rehearsals and stuff. For gigs, this is my main gigging board here. This is the rest of the studio board over here. I gotta reorganize this too, mainly this part. This is pretty much the order I need those in, but gotta redo this part. As you can see, the compact board is completely taken apart. But yeah, these days I want all the complexity while still having some amount of simplicity, if that makes sense. And that's what these X series, the Future Impact V4 VIP and the bass synth, all of those do that for me. But especially the X series, the Meris X series pedals, fully MIDI. You can play the Enzo X with a keyboard. It just gets nasty. So yeah, when you get a chance, definitely check out the Enzo X, check out the Mercury X as well. And of course I'm going to be doing a ton of stuff on the Mercury X. Of course, I can't get a pedal like that and not really go through it. It's too many variations of things, you know what I'm saying, for you not to really dive deep into it, versus a regular reverb pedal. You could kind of just put a little this to that, then get on out the way. The Mercury X is its own instrument. It's like a instrumental version of a reverb, versus other reverbs are just like the sound of a room, if that makes sense. And that's not really a scientific way of explaining it, but you'll get it. But yeah, so that's all I'm going to do for now, guys. I definitely appreciate y'all hanging out with me. It has been such a pleasure chilling with y'all today and, answering your questions and whatnot. But stay tuned, and you know, if you haven't already subscribed, so when I do go and play through this board in the next day or two, when you'll get to hear some of the first impressions of the Mercury X and hear really how it's going to change the game. But yeah, no, that's all I'm going to do for now, guys. Thank you. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. This has been another episode of All Bass Creations, Effects, Tutorials, Demos, and Review. I am the Bass Negus. You know, follow me on all social media at the Bass Negus, as well as go to the description of the video, and if you want a ToneX one and you want to help out the channel, you can do it there. And make sure you check out the Enzo X and the Mercury X and tell Meris I sent you. All right, guys.